Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. So, update on the whole Alec Baldwin situation. We haven't had one of those in a while. Rust Movie Productions, LLC issued maximum fine following the killing of Halyna Hutchins. Alec Baldwin claims report exonerates him. Well, we all know that nothing will exonerate him except for, well, nothing. He killed a person. That's up to God. Rust Movie Productions, LLC, one of the companies producing Alec Baldwin's Western film, Rust, has been issued a maximum fine possible by the state of New Mexico over the actor's fatal on-set shooting that ended the life of cinematographer Halyna Hutchins and injured director Joel Souza. So, New Mexico's Occupational Health and Safety Bureau announced on Wednesday that the film's production company will be fined a total $136,793. That's it. For failing to perform industry standard safety checks in order to effectively regulate firearm usage on the set of Rust. So, we all know that a cinematographer's life is worth $100,000 or $136,793. In accordance with state law, the fine issued to Rust Movie Productions, LLC applies to any film with a budget of about $7 million. Per the press release of New Mexico's Environment Department, while the film's industry has clear national guidelines for firearm safety, Rust Movie Productions, LLC failed to follow these guidelines or take other effective measures to protect workers. Yes, we all know that the Rust, or that there were crew members who literally, union workers, who walked off the set of Rust because of the safety neglect. Press release added, the guidelines require live ammunition never be used or brought onto any studio or stage, that safety meetings take place every day when firearms are being handled, and that employees refrain from pointing a firearm at anyone except after consultation with the property master, armorer, or other safety representative, such as the first assistant director. By failing to follow these practices, an avoidable loss of life occurred. OHSB Bureau Chief Robert Genoway told the Associated Press, "What we had, based on our investigators' findings, was a set of obvious hazards to employees regarding the use of firearms and management failure to act upon those obvious hazards." New Mexico's Environment Cabinet Secretary James Kenney also stated, "Our investigation found that this tragic incident never would have happened if Rust Movie Productions, LLC had followed national film industry standards for firearm safety." Yeah. Also, if Alec Baldwin had any common sense, too. I mean, when you're handed a gun, loaded or not, and they tell you cold gun, you still check that fucking weapon. Pardon the language, folks, but this is rather important, and it does kind of upset me that this idiot basically killed a person because of his own stupidity and negligence. He added, "This is a complete failure of the employer to follow recognized national protocols that keep employees safe." We all remember what happened in the Crow shoot, or in the Crow movie, or what happened behind the scenes of the Crow film. The new occupational safety report notes that Alec Baldwin, actor and producer, and Joel Souza, director, negotiated the various producers to help create and fund the Rust project. Alec Baldwin's authority on the set included approving script changes and actor candidates. Alec Baldwin handled the revolver and fired the round that struck and injured Halyna Hutchins and Joel Souza. Well, killed Halyna Hutchins. It further notes that on October 21st, 2021, David Halls handed the .45 caliber Colt revolver loaded with what he assumed were dummy rounds to Alec Baldwin. Mr. Baldwin pulled or aimed the revolver toward Halyna Hutchins and Joel Souza, and a projectile was fired, striking Miss Hutchins and Mr. Souza. The report goes on to point out that David Halls did not perform his duties in maintaining the safety of the shot. It states, Rust recognizes the hazards associated with firearms and adopted safety bulletins that were designed to control and mitigate these hazards. Rust described these protocols as being enforced by the first assistant director, who is the safety coordinator, Ryan Smith. Producer also stated that during the closing conference that all members of cast and crew have stop work authority. Despite this, no corrective, investigative, or disciplinary action was taken after the second firearms misfires, by any member of management. David Halls, first assistant director and safety coordinator, was physically present and witnessed these misfires, and chose not to take any corrective, investigative, or disciplinary action, it adds. So yeah, he should never be allowed to work in Hollywood again if he is witnessing misfires and near injuries and whatnot, and these things happen, and he doesn't do anything about it. He should never work in Hollywood again. David Halls, that is. It also points to Roe Walters. When the unit production manager, Roe Walters, was informed by the prop master and first assistant camera that weapons misfires had occurred, Walters did not initiate any corrective, investigative, or disciplinary action in accordance with Rust safety procedures. The report further notes the employer, Rust Movie Productions, demonstrated a plain indifference to the hazards associated with firearms by routinely failing to practice their own safety protocols, failing to enforce adherence to safety protocols, and failing to ensure the handling of deadly weapons was afforded the time and effort needed to keep the cast and crew safe. Additionally, the employer disregarded or otherwise did not follow up, ask questions, or try to understand what happened when employees notified management about the misfire incidents and not feeling safe on set. David Halls was present on set and took no direct action to address safety concerns. Management was provided multiple opportunities to take corrective actions and chose not to do so. Yeah, they were trying to hide the fact that they were unsafe on set. They didn't want any press or bad press or any sort of press because of it. As a result of these failures, director Joel Souza and cinematographer Halyna Hutchins were severely injured. Halyna Hutchins succumbed to her injuries that day on set, it asserts. Well, it doesn't assert on set, but October 21st, 2021, it asserts. Stephen Friedman, spokesperson of Rust Movie Productions, said in a statement, "While we appreciate OSHA's time and effort in its investigation, we disagree with its findings and plan to appeal." Similar, Alec Baldwin issued a statement from his attorney that asserts the ongoing safety investigation exonerates Mr. Baldwin. Aside from the investigation, a criminal investigation is still ongoing, and there have been several lawsuits filed since the tragic incident in which Baldwin shot and killed Halyna Hutchins in October last year, including legal complaints against the actor, members of the production team, and film's armorer supplier, Rust Movie Productions, and Bonanza Creek Ranch, where the film was being shot. The first legal complaint against Baldwin, among others, was filed by the gaffer for the movie, Serge Setnoy, who claims the incident was caused by neglect or negligent acts and omission of defendants, and each of them, as well as their agents, principals, and employers. Simply put, there was no reason for a live bullet to be placed in a .45 Colt revolver to be present anywhere on the Rust set, and the presence of a bullet in a revolver posed a lethal threat to everyone in its vicinity. Zvetnoy suit declares. And then they go with the Mamie Mitchell suit, filing another legal complaint against the actor for assault and intentional infliction of emotional distress, alleging Baldwin intentionally, without just cause or excuse, cocked and fired the gun, even though the upcoming scene to be filmed did not call for the cocking and firing of the firearm. On behalf of Halyna Hutchins' husband, Matthew, and the couple's son, Andros, attorney Christina Martinez filed a lawsuit against Baldwin, alleging that defendant Alec Baldwin recklessly shot and killed Halyna Hutchins on the set of the movie Rust. Defendant Baldwin and the other defendants in this case failed to perform industry standards, safety checks, and follow basic gun safety rules while using real guns to produce the movie Rust with fatal consequences. The legal complaint accuses, so it's a wrongful death suit. The suit also accuses all defendants, including disgraced actor or the disgraced actor, of engaging in negligent, intentional, willful, or reckless misconduct resulting in wrongful death, as well as directly causing a loss of consortium or emotional losses to Matthew Hutchins, who had been married to Halyna for 16 years at the time of her death. Yikes. Rust Armour, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, who has been named as a defendant in the Zvetnoy, Mitchell, and the Hutchins family respective lawsuits, filed a legal complaint against Armour supplier Seth Kenny and PDQ Arm and Prop, LLC, claiming that Baldwin did not respond to Hannah's request on October 15th to schedule cross-draw training. Conversely, attorney Luke Nikas, on behalf of Alec Baldwin and Eldorado Pictures, Inc., filed a legal complaint claiming that Baldwin is not legally culpable of killing Halyna Hutchins. Further, the defendant asserts that someone should be held legally culpable for the tragic consequences, specifying that person is not Alec Baldwin. He had the gun in his hand. According to his own testimony, he pulled the hammer back and it went off. And it slipped out of his finger and struck the bullet to cause it to go off. He shot the weapon. So yes, he is responsible. He also chose to point the weapon at a person. By direction or not, he did so. He is responsible. Baldwin's lawsuit also claims the cinematographer's death has been obscured by false allegations, finger pointing by various parties that diverts attention from the most important questions in this case. How did live ammunition get on the set of Rust? Who put the live ammunition bullet, or who put the live bullet in the gun? And why did the experts who were hired to check the gun fail to detect the bullet? Well, another question. Why didn't you check it, Alec? You should have checked it yourself. Adding insult to injury, in March of this year, the actor accused individuals filing legal complaints against him, including the family of Halyna Hutchins, of being after his money. They're only suing me because I'm rich, he's basically saying. And he also blamed Halyna Hutchins. What you have is a certain group of people, litigants or whatever, on whatever side, who their attitude is, well, the people who likely seem negligent have no money, and the people who have money are not negligent. That's bullshit, said the actor in an event at the Boulder International Film Festival. He added, but we're not going to let that stop us from doing what we need to do in terms of litigation. So we have people that are suing people that they think are deep pocket litigants. Why sue people if they're not going to get money? This man is seriously twisted. So yes, what do I think of New Mexico issuing a fine of $139,000 or something like that? I think that is one step to accountability, sure. But I do also hope that the criminal investigations and the lawsuits do take Baldwin down a peg. And I hope that he is never allowed to work in Hollywood again. As good of an actor as he was in the past, that does not excuse his actions on the set of the Rust film, where he, by direction or not, pulled that hammer back, and that gun went off. Whether he pulled the trigger or not, it still went off in his hands. Whether he feels anything, which he doesn't, or not, because he doesn't. He's already made it quite clear in all of his interviews that he's giving. He blames the victim. And now he's even blaming the families of the victim. So yes, he is placing blame on everyone but himself and saying that this fine exonerates him. That's bullshit. Anyway, folks, just wanted to give you guys this update on the Alec Baldwin situation. So yeah, I will be doing a live stream tonight with Lola Meets to discuss Phantasm. And then another one Sunday night, I will be discussing Blazing Saddles with the Ambassadorial Wing. I will be doing these in the guest choice reviews. I have their links in the playlist, guest choice reviews and discussions. So yeah, make sure you follow those. Also remember that if I get to 1,000 subscribers before June 1st, I will dye my hair and my face orange for the celebrities or for the celebration stream. And y'all can ridicule, meme, clip, whatever. Do it all. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to smash that like button. Comment your thoughts down below. This has been Orange Chat Reviews. Stay humble.